Hello, beautiful angels. Hope you're doing fine. I'm putting up a video after a very long time. I just got this new tarot deck this morning and I wanted to do a review. It's the Kawaii Tarot by Diana Lopez, and as you can see, I've already taken out the cards. The reason why I bought this, first of all, it's a binge buy, when you're just scrolling through and you find something very attractive. So it's after a year or at least 6 months that I'm buying a new tarot deck, and that is because last year I invested a lot in tarot decks, new tarot decks. I expanded my collection and it was more like an investment because I have my YouTube channel, I have my Shivangi Singh astrology business. So basically it was more like an investment in that. I earn through tarot and astrology, so I thought it's only fitting that I should invest more money in it and buy more decks, more so that I can answer a whole large of variety of your questions. So this deck, this Kawaii tarot deck, is not one of those investments because I already own a lot of tarot decks, and this was just an impulse buy, something I bought because it was just so pretty and cute. I got this because it is more child friendly, and I've been looking for more decks that are friendly for children, because often I have to answer questions for children, or there are like teenagers or just like a lot of sensitive audience, and sometimes tarot deck, actually most of the times tarot deck contain a lot of nudity, and that is not okay with a lot of people. So for that reason I decided to invest in something which is more PG-13, for lack of a better word. But here we are, and let's review this tarot deck. So first of all, it's one of those tarot decks that is available for a lot less amount of money than usual tarot decks. In fact, I bought this for a remarkably low price, and that is something remarkable because its price in US or other countries is higher than it is in India, which is surprising because generally it's the other way around. Mostly all tarot and oracle decks are reasonably priced in US and other countries, but in India they are very highly priced because they are being imported. Obviously they are not being made in India. Now this deck is not made in India, but it's still very low priced, and that is actually reflected in the quality. So let's take a look. So this is the outer packaging, and it's one of those decks that is just like it's given a hard cardboard box cover, and as you can see here, now it does not have a magnetic flap, but it opens like a book. So basically they've tried to give it a very bookish look. So I really miss the magnetic flap or something, because otherwise it's not very durable. So this is what it is. Packaging wise, I think they've done a very bad job. It's very poor, and if you look at any of the other reviews of this deck, you'll get the same information. So people across the world, tarot card readers across the world, are basically saying the same thing. Why did you waste so much of space? So look at what they've done here. First of all, there's no magnetic flap. Second, they have put two of these, okay? And rather than giving one consolidated place to keep all your tarot decks, they've made this really weird two sort of packaging flap, and these are so non-durable. Like the quality is so bad, I can't even tell you. I know on camera it kind of looks okay, but if you buy it, the quality is pathetic. And I know that this deck is very low priced, but you can't really compromise on the quality of the thing that will actually last with your tarot, right? How am I supposed to keep? I've actually taken out all the cards, as you've seen. The reason why I've done that is because there is no way I can use it on a daily basis. For example, if there is a reading that I have to do, quick reading, how inconvenient is it that I first open this and then there is this one, then there is this other packaging and I open it and take it out. Even then it's highly inconvenient because it's very tight. And just see this whole thing, it's not very convenient to keep the cards inside and take them out. In fact, it was damaging to the structure of the cards. So for that reason, I have decided not to use this. This will just be the shell that I'll keep like it. I mean, see, it looks cute, but durability wise, practicality wise, it's just really bad. Then there is this book. They've done a better job with the book, I would say. There is this flap on which you attach the last cover of the book, and that's how it stays in here. But I think they've done a good job with the book. Book is nice, that is what I can say. Like, you know, even if you have no idea about tarot, you can probably buy this deck, and I wouldn't recommend it to beginners because of reasons I'll discuss later. But at least if you just read the book, you will understand what is what. I mean, they've covered everything, and rather than making it a small little booklet that nobody reads, they've made it a book, and it's colored, and it's actually quite wide, which is also good because most of the booklets are just thick and they are not wide enough. This is of a good length and good dimension, so basically you can go ahead and read it and it will feel like you're reading an actual book and not just something that came along a tarot deck. Now let's talk about the cards. So as you can see, I have difficulty in putting this back with just one hand. I have to use both hands to put this back in its flap. Okay, now I've done it, but it's just like not a very convenient deck, I would say. I mean, if it had a magnetic flap or a lock of some kind, it would have been better, but you know, it does not have that, and it just kind of looks like this, and it's it looks like a diary, you know, one of those diaries that we used to have, but then it should have had a flap of some kind of lock or something. It doesn't have that, and it just feels, see, the book, if I do it, if I put it downwards, then this book starts falling out. So yeah, they've done a very poor job with the packaging. Now let's talk about the cards, which by the way are no price either. So I understand that they wanted to reduce the price or whatever, but you know, they've really not done a good job with the way these cards feel. So I like that. The reason why I bought it is because these cards are cutesy and they're small, and I don't have a mini tarot deck. This is my first ever mini tarot deck. Now generally I don't like small tarot cards, small sized cards, but because they gave me a fair warning, and this deck was special in the sense that they made it to be a cute and small tiny tarot deck, so I don't have much of a problem because I never expected it to have a good size. So the problem is that the edges are not smooth at all. The edges are pretty rough, and you know, even the coloring, you would think that, you know, since it's white it would be uniform. It's actually not. If you look at it in daylight, I know the camera is not capturing it, but there are different shades of white, and not a good one. It's just like one of those dirty papers that you get. So even for the price that they're charging for it, it's very bad, because I know about tarot decks which are made in India and their price is like 300 to 400 rupees, which is very low, half the price of this deck, and they are actually very smooth, very nice. And this deck has just compromised so much on the quality that, oh my god, it's terrible. And then you have, first of all, look at it, like it's already bent in a particular direction, and I'm not happy about it. I've been trying to correct it by bending it in the opposite direction, but it's not happening because of the packaging. So the packaging, the two, you know, tiny flap covers that you saw in this video, they've been actually very bad, negative to the structure of the cards, like I said, and that is why the cards are bent in a particular direction. Also because the quality of the cards is not great. So now let's look at the cards. I've shuffled them. It's easy to shuffle though, because obviously it's a small tiny teeny deck. Now this is what it looks like. Obviously the back is very cute, and you can see the dimensions because size of my hand. Now my hand is not average size, it's actually pretty long, but sorry, that's my dog in the background. My pet dog is very cute, I love him, but disturbs the recording of videos. So this is how it is, and the quality is okay, like in the sense that it's thick enough, but other than that you have to be very very careful where you keep it. So this is what it looks like, and it's very, as you can see, it's very cutesy, it's very small. Now there is one thing about this though, that in a particular card that is 9 of wands, what they've done is that in the picture it only shows 8 wands and it says 9. I'll show you that card. It's remarkable that this particular thing has been noted down by so many people. So many people have remarked on that, and still, they've done nothing to improve it. It's like they don't care. They created this deck and then they just stopped caring. This is the card that I was talking about. So it is 9 of wands, but look at the number of wands that are actually being shown. It's 8. So this is a major flaw that has not been overlooked by the tarot community, but then by the creators of the deck, it's just like they don't care anymore. They can easily improve it. They can retract all the current copies and bring out a new one, but they've not done that. So I like the imagery in some of them, but then in others they've wasted the space. For example, in this one, so there's no point. Why would you create this? You can just as easily move these upwards, shift them upwards, and then give us a unified and nice card. This whole space is wasted. I don't know what they were thinking. This is 3 of wands, by the way, and it looks like 3 of cups because of the heart. So yeah, the wands deck is particularly messed up. Like, I have no idea what they were thinking. Sometimes it's popsicles. They keep changing the symbol of wands throughout this deck, and you are somehow supposed to understand that they are talking about wands. So again, with this 5 of pentacles, why have they moved it so below? And like, what is this space for? Are we supposed to write our own notes in it? What were they thinking when creating this? Is just a question as good as any. This is Magician. Again, with 7 of pentacles, why are they putting the Sun card over here? It's ridiculous how they've formed it. Eight of Cups are all upside down. So as you can see, there is not much correlation with the original Rider-Waite tarot deck imagery or any tarot deck imagery. It's just completely different, and that is why I will not recommend it to beginners, because if you're beginning your tarot journey, I know that this will look cute and easy to understand, but it's actually the opposite of that. For the beginners, I would recommend nothing except the original Rider-Waite, because that is the best deck to get started. So the problem with this deck is that it does not have enough imagery, enough visual stimulation for you to use your intuition. It's one of those decks where it's like, okay, this is what it is, here is the book, read the book, interpret, that's it. And that's not what tarot is all about. That's not how tarot is supposed to be learned. You have to use your own intuition looking at the images. So this is where I will always pick Rider-Waite over any other deck. if I'm teaching a beginner or if I'm recommending it to a beginner. And this deck, it may look at the face of it to be very beginner friendly, but it's actually the opposite. It's very, very complicated. See here again. So this is 7 of Wands. You look at the popsicle imagery, and this is 4 of Wands. They have used different images to convey the same thing. They should have used the same kind of popsicle, but they have not done that. So again, in some of the cards, this has been used, this symbol of popsicle, and others, this has been used. I have no idea what they were going with. It's like the creators were very confused, and that actually reflects in these cards. So that makes me not so happy. Again, with some of the 7s, they have used the symbol of sun, God knows why. Here they've used the symbol of moon, again, nobody knows why. So this is supposed to be Ace of Wands with the popsicle. I mean, why are you using different symbols to convey the same thing? For swords and for every other deck, it's the same, but then for wands, they've just, I don't know, done whatever. So this is the deck. As you can see, it has many, many challenges. If you are an advanced tarot reader who likes to collect different tarot decks and wants one which is child friendly or just friendly for people who are not okay with the graphic nudity that comes with most of the other tarot decks, then and only then you should really buy this one. It's very small sized, but if you're really looking to interpret a lot of information based on your intuition, then this deck is not for you. This deck is not for the beginners, because I want you to use your intuition, not just go by the bookish meanings. That's not what tarot is supposed to be all about. Another thing is that it's extremely difficult to store this tarot deck. How is anybody going to use it in this cover? I have not seen any other tarot reader actually use it or keep it in the deck, in the cover that it comes along. So I've also decided to do the same thing. I've decided not to keep it in it because it just serves no purpose. There is no lock, so even if, let's say, I feel like doing away with these two and just keeping the cards here, it won't make any difference because it will just fall away. There's no magnetic flap, there's no locks, and the book is as it is, just moving away. So imagine if the cards start doing that, if the cards just start falling out, and that's just, it's not a good use of space, it's not good use of paper. They've wasted so much, they've harmed the environment, and they've actually delivered nothing. They've delivered something which is subpar. Like I don't think this deck should be priced more than 200 rupees, and that is Indian National Rupee, INR. So yeah, that way they've done a pathetic job. And I'm going to keep this deck just because many times I get requests from children or parents requesting for children. They'll show them those cards, those readings. So I can't just, put something which is not child friendly in front of them. And for all the users who are sensitive to nudity and some other tarot symbolisms, I would probably prefer this deck. That is the only reason why I've decided to keep it. And this is where I've decided to keep it. I've already have a few crystals and candles and stuff in it. This is where I'll keep this, because there is no way in hell I'm going to put it in this cover that it originally came with. So anyway, that was my review of Kawaii tarot deck. Interestingly, this is the only tarot deck which has been featured by BuzzFeed in one of their recent 2020 quarantine edition, where they've talked about picking up other hobbies. So they've talked about tarot and they've somehow recommended this deck, and it's just that it's cutesy and just, I don't know, small, so they've recommended it. But obviously they are not professional tarot card readers. I am, and I can tell you how annoying this deck can get. So yeah, don't buy it if any of the things that I've mentioned, and it has serious flaws, serious drawbacks, and the creators just don't seem to care. So yeah, if any of that bothers you, don't buy it. I would not recommend it highly. It's definitely not one of the decks that I'm going to say, oh, you know what, it's so sweet, it's just the kind of deck that everybody should own. No, that's certainly not the case. This is a completely avoidable tarot deck. Buy it only if you're absolutely in love with the imagery or something. So this is my deck of the Kawaii Tarot, and let me know if you also want me to do tarot deck reviews or oracle deck reviews in Hindi, because so far I think I've only done them in English, but I'm not sure if my Hindi audience is looking forward to hearing tarot decks or just the tarot readings. So let me know if you want me to make this or any other deck review in Hindi, and I'll do that. Okay, so thank you for watching this, and thank you for your support and love throughout the time that I've not really been putting up that many videos. So I might get back to it, but let's see how this channel shapes up and what content I come up with in the future. Thank you, take care, bye.